Hey guys, welcome back to another hopefully quick video. Trying to get back out here in the woods, do some hunting, but kind of in between, took a little lunch break. So in a past video, or the last one I did, we talked about the Hiddenwoodsmen MC Ruck, or Mike Charlie pack as Malk calls it. And I just kind of did a quick run through. Again, not a big gear reviewer type guy as far as specs and all that stuff. So I mentioned I'd give you the rundown on what I keep inside the kit. I did overpack it just to show you how much this thing actually can hold. I don't typically have all this stuff in here, though it's not burdensome at the same time, and it's not that I couldn't use it, and we'll get to that. So native survival bedroll on the bottom. What's not in here right now that typically is, and I didn't use it because I didn't have the native survival blanket. I have one just like it, less all the bells and whistles, but through the summer being hot and all that, I was using the tent more than a tarp because I didn't want to sleep next to a fire to keep the bugs away because it was just too hot, right? So I would unroll the blanket, lay my tent out in it, tent poles at the bottom with a few stakes, and roll it up in here, and it's actually not too much bigger than what you see here, so that worked out pretty well. So again, the tent isn't in here right now, but typically would be. So I'll run you through the pockets first, I guess. This bottom pocket, just my Scout canteen with a cup I've had forever and ever. 100 feet of paracord. 2 different thicknesses of bank line. These are about 50 feet each. Baco saw, multi-tool, and my Opinel knife that was gifted to me by Mike Barton's, that needs a little bit of cleaning at this point. So that's it in the bottom pocket. Can certainly fit quite a bit more in there, but I don't like to stuff it full. Again, the main compartment, when we get to it, has quite a bit more in it, just so you guys can see. And again, I think it's a 30-liter pack. So top smaller pocket, 6-inch ferro rod, my guide container with matches, or my preferred fire starting method, small first aid kit, a headlamp, awesome little leather satchel. I think I did a video on this, I'm not sure. It's just a flint and steel kit. I enjoy still practicing and making fires other ways, you know. So ferro rod, it's fun to do. Flint and steel is probably my favorite primitive means of making a fire or starting a fire, just to mess around with. And a nice little kit. Again, this was gifted to me with the knife by Mike Barton's, Bushcraft Barton's. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with. Just a awesome little kit. I love it. Aquamera filter for water. I typically just boil 99.9% of the times. I do carry this because it's convenient in a pinch where I don't want to get a fire going. So I use this on my canoe trips up in Maine. Just right down to the river and just drink cold water, right, instead of having to boil it, let it cool down and stuff like that. This is just a card for tracking. Pen and pencil, and my compass with ranger beads. So that's the contents of the 2 pockets. Dig into the main compartment now. So again, so you guys can like see how big this really is. So I got my Moore's bush pot, and I keep my cooksa just so it don't take up extra room. I'll keep that in there, as well as the chain for hanging my bush pot. And someone had asked me to talk about this. I don't want to shoot a whole video just to talk about the chain, but I'll show you. Excuse me. I'll show you guys this close up right now. So it's just standard chain. I don't know what type of chain you'd call that, but I just buy it from the hardware store. It's pretty cheap. Then I just bought some S hooks, put it through one end and crimp it. And this allows you to adjust your pot, right, if you're hanging it from a tripod or whatever you've got set up, you know, to hang pots and pans. And you can adjust your tripod legs, as I've discussed in other videos, to get big adjustments. You can do it with the chain as well, but then you can make minor adjustments just by hooking this S loop anywhere you want it along the chain's length, right? So you can, you know, micro adjustments over the fire. But you know, for years and years, a lot of people hang it with paracord and a toggle or bank line or what have you, and I did it before as well, and I never burnt it and had my pot fall off. But you're taking a chance really if you have big flames. With this, you never have to worry about that, obviously, and it doesn't weigh anything. So the Moore's bush pot's in there. My GSI kettle, which is full of coffee and spices and all that good stuff. I've got my bigger bowl to go with my my cooksa, and the bush pot fits right in there inside the pack. Heavy cover, titanium canteen and cup. Now again, I don't always carry all of these together, though it's not a bad thing, and again, it's not burdensome. It's not weighing me down. This is full, so the water weighs something at the moment, but the hard anodized Moore's bush pot doesn't weigh anything, and with that chain and that cookser in there, there's really no weight to it. This kettle's got a little weight with all the spices and coffee I got in it, but you know what I mean, how much does that weigh really? So again, not burdensome. They are bulky, and that's kind of the point and why I put it all in there, to show you how much this 30-liter pack can fit, because it doesn't look that big, and it isn't. It's not a huge pack, but it can fit, you know, exactly what you need and some. So then I just have a lightweight rain jacket in case it rains. I've got a whistle here just tied off with a piece of bank line, some shit tickets in a Ziploc bag. And then at the very bottom, it's kind of my tool roll, I guess you could call it. So it's just a canvas satchel that Malk made me probably a couple years ago now anyways. It's got some tie-offs, so it's brown overall. It's got some green and tan cotton webbing type material at the top for some design. And again, it's more along the lines of like a small toolkit, I guess. So I got my spoon knife in there, DC4 sharpening stone, puck for my axe when I carry it, another crook knife, canoe poles and paddles and things like that, and then just a diamond rod, which I don't use a whole bunch anymore. I prefer the DC4, and the puck actually works pretty well too. So just a small tool roll. to maintain, you know, my knife and axe, and the spoon knife and the crook knife to do some other projects with, right? And so I just tuck all that in there and roll it up and tie it off. So I have also the rest of that cooksa kit. Came with the bowl, the cooksa, knife, fork, and spoon to go with that. A bandana, just one, and my journal is wrapped up in that. And then just a spare Mora. This one's a little bit smaller than the classic one here, or classic 2 or whatever. So, and that's it. That's the complete contents. Everything I need. Again, the only thing I'm really missing, and it depends on what I'm doing, honestly, but like I said, my tent, I've been rolling up in my blanket and attaching it to the bottom of the ruck. If I don't need the tent, I can do the same thing. I probably wouldn't do my canvas tarp. I'd do the Silnai one that I have, that I also carry with my tent as well. I've hatched just a ripstop nylon. It was some type of trail tarp, it was called. I got that thing from Rob at Canteen Shop years ago. And the thing's still kicking, no holes in it, still as good as the day I bought it. So I use that. I like it a lot, you know, to lessen weight and things like that. If I'm not going to stay out for multiple days, it's convenient to carry that. Easy to set up, obviously. So that's the rundown of the pack, guys. It really isn't a bunch of crap. It's everything you would need, really. Little redundant in the container area, but again, that's not a bad thing. And, you know, not to beat a dead horse, but it's not burdensome either. But this little 30-liter pack holds all that stuff, and I still have extra room in there. So, you know, like I said, I didn't overfill the pockets. I still have room in the main compartment if I pack it, you know, neat. So awesome little pack. Really, really starting to like this thing a lot. And the craftsmanship, second to none. I mean, I have my military assault pack that I've had, you know, for some years now, and that thing wouldn't stand a chance next to this, without a doubt. So I'll spare you guys packing this back up. So I appreciate you joining me for another video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll try to get another one shot and posted as soon as I can. Take care, guys.